Hi, and welcome to Angling Insights. Today, we're going to be fishing on Connecticut's Candlewood Lake in Danbury, Connecticut. It's early June, and typically the fish right now would be in a post-spawn pattern, but we've had a very cold spring. So we really believe that probably the fish will just be getting ready to move up or have just moved up. But with the weather the way it's been, they keep moving up and moving out. So it should be interesting, but hopefully we can figure it out. Come on, let's go fishing. My guest today will be local expert Mike Zazuli. He's been fishing the lake for years, and he really has a pretty good handle on what's going on. I talked to him earlier. He said he's been catching fish. So hopefully we'll have some fun.
Morning,
Hi,
Dave.
Mike. How you doing?
Ready to catch some fish?
I sure am.
Well, that's
Come on
good.
aboard.
All right.
Let's see what we can figure out today. Now, have you been fishing here much lately?
Yeah, actually, I've been here quite a bit, and these fish should be starting to move up. Some have moved up and spawned already, but I think we'll find fish in kind of all stages. Pre-spawn, spawn, and some post-spawn fish.
Well, that should be interesting. We'll see what we can figure out. So let's go fishing.
Okay, let's have some fun.
Boy, I tell you, I just love fishing on Candlewood Lake. Every time I come here, I have such a good time. Fishing is so fantastic on this lake. You can't believe it could be this close to such a large metropolitan area and still have the amount of quality fish that it has. Candlewood's located in western Connecticut, about an hour and a half drive from New York City, and really convenient to the whole tri-state area. If you live within 2 hours of this place, you gotta make a trip here.
I know you've been fishing here for a long time, Mike. You know much about the history of Candlewood?
Well, yeah, actually, I know quite a bit about the history of Candlewood. First of all, Candlewood is a man-made lake. It's an impoundment, a pumped storage facility, and controlled by the power company. They pump water in and out of it according to their needs. The lake, I've been fishing it about 20 years, and when I first started fishing it, it didn't have a lot of big fish in it. There wasn't very good forage. There wasn't much for the bass to eat, and though there were quite a few bass, they were all pretty small, 12, 13 inches. And then the State Department of Conservation introduced alewives, or landlocked herring, into the lake, and that's become forage for the bass, and the size of the bass just became much, much bigger because of that. It really made an enormous amount of difference. The homeowners were complaining that the weeds grew, the milfoil and coontail grew all the way to right up to the shoreline edge, and they were having trouble swimming and recreating on the lake. So the power company decided that they would draw the lake down every year in the fall and therefore kill the weeds up on the shoreline. This worked out very well for the smallmouth bass because what it did is it made an inside weed edge, very distinct inside weed edge, and allowed the area from 7 feet or so on shallower to be open and allowed the smallmouth to spawn. Consequently, the smallmouth population has grown enormously in this lake, and there's obviously enough forage for both the largemouth and smallmouth, and we have a great population of largemouth and a great population of smallmouth.
Here's one.
Oh yeah,
Not
nice
a bad
fish.
There's no such thing as a bad fish.
Just an unbelievable fishery.
Largemouth. Ooh, come here, guy. Up. Just. Not bad. Not bad. There's a little Candlewood bass. There he goes.
Wow.
Oh, he's coming up. Oh, it's a nice one. This is a decent fish. Yeah,
That's a good one.
I don't think he's ready, and I don't think my drag is set good either here. Oh, he swallowed this one.
That's good. You should get him in.
Just with these smallmouth, I'm afraid all I need is for him to shake his head while I'm reaching down for him. There you go. This one would probably go 2.5. Not bad. Very nice. The smallmouth in this lake are just unbelievable. Ooh, I think I got another one here. Oh! He ain't ready yet. Ooh, he's hooked in the head. Ooh, I don't know. Oh, I guess I'll get him. Looks like this one wanted to headbutt it. All right, another decent smallmouth. Boy, I'll tell you, this crankbait's really working, Mike. Oh, my bait's running off to the side. I guess that last fish knocked it out of tune. See, what happens with a bait like this is when you get it hung on a rock or right out of the package or after a fish or two, sometimes they'll go out of tune. And you'll know that because as you're running your bait, it won't be running absolutely straight. It'll be running off to the left or off to the right. Sometimes it'll even be rolling around. What you've got to do is you've got to take the little eye here and you've got to bend it in the opposite direction of the way that it's running. So if your crankbait is running off to the right, you really just want to bend this little eye to the left just a little bit. Now it's possible with a small bait like this that you can tune it just with your thumb. With the bigger one you may need a pair of pliers, but this little one I usually tune with my thumb. So let's see if that made it a little bit better. I'll make a cast, and you really want to try and get it to run absolutely straight back to the boat. That's much better. And now it's time to catch fish. You know, bass fishing has really been a boon to the local economy here on Candlewood. From gas stations to restaurants and hotels to the local tackle shops. This morning on our way over here, we stopped in at Hank's Tackle Shop and took a look at some of the stuff.
I started fishing Candlewood probably in 1965. A lot of big smallmouth out there up in the 4-pound bracket. One Saturday morning I went fishing. It was a cold, rainy May day, first part of May. And about every half hour I had a hit, and it was a big fish. The smallest is 7'2", the biggest is 8. Candlewood is about 19 miles long. It's probably one of your best fishing lakes in the Northeast. Trout, largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, crappie, and a lot of panfish. Candlewood Lake has probably the nicest scenery you would ever want to see around the lake. It draws tourists from all over the place.